Hey YouTube, thank you for tuning in and coming to my channel. If you are new here, please take the time out to show me some love, comment on some videos, like some videos, and subscribe to my channel most importantly, okay? Before we get into this fire ass Wispy sets, please disregard my voice. It's in and out, but I'm getting better day by day. This video will be talking about how to make your sets fuller, tips on Wispy sets, and another isolation method that I love using, which is the tape back method. If you have not already, go check out my previous video on the tape back method. It's very, 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 very helpful. But this one right here is going to be a little bit more detailed and a little bit more just close up. As you can see, I'm trying to let y'all see like what I'm doing. So when I tape back the lashes, I do use tape that is not as sticky because you don't want it to be too hard when you are pulling off the tape and you don't want to pull the lashes. The reason for the tape back method is to expose the bottom layer of the lashes. When doing wispy sets, the bottom layer of the lashes is very important. We're going to get back to that later on. I'm about to show y'all how to take the tape off very gently. Of course, like I just said, you do not want to pull lashes off. So what I do is hold the extensions, I grip them. I make sure I got a good grip on the extensions by putting pressure but not pulling. And I slightly pull the tape away from inch by inch and make sure that the extension is completely off the blue tape before I'm just pulling it off. I hope that was a great explanation. If you have any more questions about how I did that, just drop in the comments. But I just did my best to explain it, and I did my best to show y'all up close and personal how I do it. But you always want to be gentle with your client and just take your time. Never rush. I don't know who thinks that it's a good thing to rush on lashes, but that's never a good idea to rush on anybody's eyes. So this is another isolation method that I use. And like, your tape is your best friend, okay? Just use that tape and get the lashes out your way. Your tape is your bestie. So with this part, I just wanted to kind of get that specific area of lashes, which I will show y'all another example of very soon. But you can always just use your tape to manipulate the lashes however you need to. Just remember to be gentle and take your time. So in this segment of Tech Talk, like I mentioned before, I'm going to be going over some tips specifically for wispy sets. Or just some random tips that come to my mind, to be honest. So one thing that I wish I knew before I was in the beginning of my lash career is to isolate and then place. You don't want your glue to dry while you're looking for a lash, because you're going to be placing dry glue on the natural lash. It's not going to stick, or you're going to be having a hard time with it sticking, and it's just going to irritate you. Also, do not place the extension too close to the lash line, because that can cause irritation. This is just another angle on another day that I wanted to show y'all of the tape back method, where I wanted to just get these last little outer corners, and I had to move all the extensions out my way. Back to today's wispy set. So I always check my sets because I definitely want them to be identical. I do not lash map, so I try my best to go back and forth and do the same thing that I did to one eye to the next eye, to make sure that I'm having identical sets. So another tips for wispy sets, for my wispy sets, I like to mix C and D. You don't have to mix C and D, but just try to mix two curls that are kind of like opposite from each other, really, to be honest with you, and that'll kind of create a more wispy effect in most cases. When I am making wispy sets, I do give my clients the option to do extra wispy or slightly wispy. If I'm doing extra wispy, I'm going to go maybe 4 to 5 limbs different. And if I'm just doing slightly wispy, I'm just going to go 2 to 3 limbs difference. Still going to show a difference, but not too much of a difference. Just a fun fact, my favorite wispy set to do is the extra wispy set, because I like to add that pop. It is a little bit more challenging, but I just like I love the end results of extra wispy sets more than I do the slightly wispy sets. I don't know if I mentioned this already. This is another angle, just showing y'all another way how I did the tape back method another day on the same client. So also applying the shorter limbs on the bottom is what will make that set appear full, especially when it comes to wispy sets. It's easy for a set to kind of give flimsy, kind of give skeleton if y'all get what I'm at. You want it to give wispy, you want it to have those spikes and that drama, but you still want to make sure that they're not getting wimpy, okay, babe? Again, right here, we're gently pulling the tape off of the lash extensions, and you see I'm not pulling any lash extensions in. And when I'm pulling off her skin, I'm also putting my hand right there because you want to be very gentle. Treat your clients like they are angels, honey, okay? Because that's what they deserve. I'm going in checking for sticky. There was one right there. I hate stickies, so I'm constantly checking my sets for stickies because I will be, if my client is walking outside with the lashes stuck together and she cannot brush through them. I do not like that. I like for my sets to really be the real, okay? In addition to making sure your shorter limbs are on your bottom row of the natural lashes, when it comes to your spikes and your longer limbs, those are going to be placed on the very first or the top row of layer of lashes, because this will make them pop, okay? You don't want to put them at the bottom because it's going to give, it's not going to give complement the actual length that it is. So you want to put them on the top and make sure that they are standing out no matter what. Alrighty, so for the remainder of this video, I am going to go ahead and ask myself the questions until I have people to start asking me questions, okay? It's manifestation, babe. That's what it's called. Alright, so which type of natural lash is easier to lash, in my opinion? And what I mean by that is when a client comes in and how their natural lashes look, what's my favorite type of lash? I think this goes for everybody, unless you just love a challenge, but straight lashes are most of the time going to be easier to isolate and apply to more than any lashes. Curly lashes and lashes that grow in different directions will automatically add more isolation time on your service until you get to the point to where you can just maneuver through them easier. But I feel like no matter how long you've been doing lashes, curly lashes and lashes that grow different ways will always be a little bit more of a challenge than straight lashes. My second question is, how long did my first set take when I first started doing lashes about 6 years ago? And just pause for a second. I just want to I wanted to also show y'all how I'm taking off the tape. I do go section by section, and I do not pull their hairs out at all. So yeah, that's just that. And so my first set took maybe about 3 or 4 hours. I'm not gonna lie. When I first started doing, I think that was classic, because when I first started doing lashes, volume wasn't really a thing. It's so crazy to say that, but yeah, volume was not really a thing when I came into the lash world. It was just really classic, and maybe a few people were doing hybrid here and there, but to do full Russian volume, that was just mainly known as a thing that was really popular in maybe California, and I'm based in Atlanta, but maybe California and in Russia, because it's known as Russian volume. So that's the answer to that question. What is my most popular set? My most popular set is just wispy sets, no matter if it's classic, hybrid, or volume. All of my clients, or majority of my clients, go-tos are wispy sets. And y'all, I used to hate this in the beginning of my lash career because it was hard for me to make them wispy. I did not understand how to make them wispy. But now that I know, like I said in the beginning, the main thing to making wispy sets is to make sure you have that difference in between your limbs. If you're not really having a major difference in between your limbs, and to me, when I first started off, that seemed like a major difference, to have 3 or 4 or 5 numbers in between the limbs. I was like, oh my God, it's going to look crazy. But it's not. It's going to give that wisp that you're looking for. What made me start doing lashes? So I attended Clark Atlanta University. I have my bachelor's degree in mass communications, concentrating in public relations, and I graduated in 2018. I believe my junior year, which was maybe 2017, 2016, I forgot which year, I just randomly decided to take a lash class. And I've always been in the beauty industry. My very first job in high school, I think I was 16 or 17 years old, was a receptionist at a hair salon in Buckhead. So I've always wanted to be in the beauty industry. I've always wanted to be a hairstylist my whole entire life. Since middle school, I used to line my dolls up and do their hair. But not to really get too much, not to do too much, but let me just say that I've always wanted to be in the beauty industry, and I literally just took a risk. I am a firm believer in when you take risk, when you don't think too much, that's just something is going to happen, because you have to bet on yourself. It's called betting on yourself. You can't think about it too much, because that's a sign of like uncertainty. You need to be sure that whatever you're about to do, it's gonna pop off no matter what. And I won't say that I was completely feeling that about lashes, but I was completely feeling that way about me making a certain amount of money, or me being financially independent while I'm in college. Because when I started doing lashes, I really didn't have to ask my mom or my parents or my family for too much money at all, because I'm just naturally independent. I'm a tourist. Tourist gang coming up. Aries, y'all gonna hand me out the way, okay? But yeah, so that was that. That's how I started doing lashes. And my last question that I'm gonna ask myself is, what's my favorite set? So my favorite set to do when it comes to fullness is, of course, volume. If you're a lash tech, you know that volume takes no time really to fill up, and I love the process of creating it. It's really art to me, for real deal. And I love the process of creating fluffy lashes, but then adding that spice to it, that spike to it, with the design of wispy or open eye or cat eye. Now, that's my favorite set to do. I'm getting better when it comes to wispy sets. I feel like the only reason why I would like doing a wispy set is because it challenges me, and I like to challenge myself. I personally love doing anything volume, so it doesn't matter what style. I'm becoming to not be such a fan of doing classics. I don't mind doing it, but I would say that my least favorite to do would probably be hybrid. I feel like it's a little bit, all them steps just getting. This video was to one or the other. Classic or most of my videos are going to be classic, like very similar to voiceovers, y'all, because I'm not my video too good with commentary. Like, this is just gonna be real raw and how I talk on the regular, okay? So if it's not coming off as professional or just, or basic, I'm gonna let y'all know right now, it's not gonna be like that. We're gonna be talking like, you're my homegirl and I'm your homegirl, okay? So leave some comments below. Follow me on Instagram. Let me know if you like this set. Be honest. Don't be nasty, because I can really get nasty back. Oh no, I'm just playing, y'all. But don't be nasty. Let me know how y'all like this set, okay? Follow my Instagram. Drop some more some video ideas in the comments. And I'm talking too much, so bye.